Today we're going to talk about exercise 4, big data use in France. What is big data? Big data basically is defined as large complex sets of data that are collected in mass by some online processing software. The technological characteristics are that it's run by a processing software that's created using Java or some other technological coding program. It works by running this processing software and collecting data. It's very simple, but it's also very effective in generating large amounts of data for companies and or governments. Uh, the opportunity really is in problem solving for businesses. Businesses can solve problems using this data that they probably never would have been able to solve without it, and that have been deemed unsolvable for years. The US is by far the world lead in this technology because it allows companies to be the main developers rather than the government running it. The current and potential users, currently, companies and governments are the biggest users. Potentially, you could see some more small sector or security companies or other smaller entities, but it will very unlikely be used on a personal level. Companies and governments stand the most to gain because it allows them to get large amounts of data that they never would have been able to have before. But the biggest loser is the general public because people's privacy becomes very hard to cultivate and very hard to maintain your privacy. Big data creates jobs in information technology, development of softwares, and in analytics. My personal favorite is the big data engineer. Basically, you just need the ability to code, building programs, the technological skills, and to be able to collaborate with a team because these programs are far too complex to be built by just one person. But basically, the engineer as a team will code and build these programs that can run these giant data sweeps on big data programs. Averages out at about $98,000 a year, and like many technological jobs nowadays, they come from a programmer background. Where are they using it? In France, government is the primary user. They haven't opened it up quite as much to companies, but there are a few that are able to run big data programs like this. France's government uses it for economic help. Whatever that may be, it uses these programs to collect data on the economy and try to keep their economy going in the right direction. My three favorite uses are economics, like the French government uses it for, the business applications such as sales and just general data, and security monitoring. I think is incredibly fascinating because this data could lead to a more secure world if it's used properly. The biggest opposition is people who are concerned over their privacy because naturally this amount of data being collected can lead to less privacy for the general public. Why are they using big data? I chose Microsoft in France because it's the biggest company there that uses big data tactics. Um, I think some of its strengths are that it's a widely known company, so that many people don't have as much opposition to opting into some of their data mining programs. They're solely focused on data. They develop technology and stuff, of course, but their primary focus is their data mining, especially now. They have the most servers in the world. They're the only company in the world with over 1 million internet servers. And they have global wealth that allows them to develop the technology at a much faster rate. The weaknesses in France is that it's one of their smaller hubs. France in general does not have a big data presence. So France has a small Microsoft hub. And government regulations are slowly opening up big data to companies. There are only about 20 companies that apply big data practices in France. Some opportunities is that because of that, it can build its brand even more in France because not many companies are able to use these tactics. And some threats are that privacy concerns, as we've said, are incredibly rampant with this kind of program. When are they using it? Mass adoption is slowly moving as regulations soften, not just in France but around the world. In the next 10 to 15 years, I believe that there will be a large mass adoption of big data. Can also lead to development in business with problem solving. This data can lead to solving problems that have never been able to be solved before. And some concerns, again, are that people really do value their privacy, and having all this data can be a scary thought when you don't know how it will be used. It can solve the sustainable development goals by aiding in education because people can access a wealth of information just from an internet connection. And the infrastructure that this provides can really increase the educational footprint in poorer areas. Two truths and a lie. Big data is the fastest growing business sector. Big data will spill all your personal data onto the internet. And big data's strongest opposition is due to privacy concerns. Thank you.